Hey, hey, hey. Hey, little Deb. Good to see you. Yeah, I've kind of got a headache too today, sweetie. So, I'm just going to go over this case very quickly. Um, so, the gentleman I have showing right now, his name is Carl Miller Patton Jr. Now, in 2003, he was arrested and pled guilty and given a life sentence to committing, I believe it was 5 different red runs. Now, why he has come to the forefront of the Melissa Wolfenbarger case is because he is her father. Now, Melissa went missing. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. Let me get over here to Melissa Wolfenbarger back in 1998 went missing from her home. Hey, Poppy darling. She went missing from her home, like I said, in late 1998. Let me show you her picture really quickly here. I should be able to pull it up. This is Melissa. That is Melissa. Like I said, right now I'm starting at the beginning and giving you a background of her father, who was a serial unaliver, and he was caught in 2003. Now, how this coincides with his daughter Melissa going missing is because Melissa's remains started to be found in 1990. Let's see, wait. What did I say? Don't get myself confused here. She went missing in 98. Her remains started to be found in numerous trash bags, I'll say, in 1999. Her husband, let me show you what her husband looks like. I'm trying not to confuse people, because let me tell you guys, this is Melissa's husband, Christopher. Just forget about it. Yeah, just forget about it. For real. It is very easy to forget. But the forgiveness, I don't know. I used to easily forgive, I think, but not anymore. Not anymore. I'm just saying. But I love that name, Just Forget About It. Just forget about it. Just forget about it. For real, for real. Always good to have you around. Always good to have Just Forget About It around. Now, it's funny because honestly, I was just over Kel's, and they're talking about Ernie, and Ernie having a, hey, May May, a freaking, I started a couple minutes early, Flies. You're fine, girl. You are fine. Just a couple minutes early. I didn't want to leave little Deb in here by herself. She was alone. I didn't want her to be lonely. But anyhow, supposedly Ernie's got warrants out for his arrest. The Ernie Shell is who I am speaking about. I don't know if we know if that's true or not. My understanding is he might owe his probation officer a little bit of money. I know you was looking for your governor. Blythe and Ernie have this weird ass relationship. I'm just saying, it's weird. Okay. Okay. Anywho. Okay. So this is her husband, Christopher Wolfenbarger. Let's get back to her dad really quick, because this is what brought me into the case and piqued my curiosity, was the fact that her mother was on the stand, because they are in trial right now, right? But I'll have to go watch it. Mr. A. I promise I will before I leave. Her mother was on the stand, and the prosecution is trying to say that they're trying to prove that she basically isn't fit to testify, because she is admitting to helping this man right here actually plan to unalive people and also help him dispose of the remains. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Carl here, okay? Like I said, DNA testing in 2003. He was arrested for the red rums, pled guilty, given a life sentence. He is no longer alive. He passed away last year. So I'm not going to give you his big background or anything like that. I'm just going to let you guys know what has transpired. By early 2003, Patton and his wife moved to Locust Grove, where he worked as a roofer. On February 23rd of that year, he was arrested for the red rum of 31-year-old Liddy Matthew Evans, who had been unalived in 1977, December of 77. Now, DNA match linked him to that crime scenes. Minutes after he was arrested, his wife, Norma Patton, told the officer she was willing to testify against her husband in exchange for immunity from prosecution. So that is what she did. She testified against him. She told law enforcement, what her roles in some of these deaths, how it took place. So I think that she was COA, which we all know is covering her own ass. So the testimony in 1977 in November, according to her testimony, there was a person that went by the name Cleveland, who was Carl's partner in crime. So they made a plea deal with her. They dropped all the accessory to murder charges. In exchange, she revealed that her husband, Carl, and a friend of his who was a firefighter, Joe Cleveland, were responsible for several unalivings dating back to late 1977. So that is where the last name Cleveland comes in, Joe Cleveland. So she testified that November 12, 77, Carl and Cleveland shot and unalived the former's uncle, 45-year-old Fred Wyatt, as well as Wyatt's roommate, 45-year-old Betty Jo Eflin. A month later, he told his wife that he suspected that Joe Cleveland had told mutual acquaintances about the unalivings, and he wanted to get rid of him. So we've got a guy that hooked up with another guy. They unalived a couple people, and now Carl's feeling some sort of way. Has he snitched? Has he talked about him? And he decided that he wanted to get rid of him. So December 17th, Carl lured Joe Cleveland and his roommate Liddy Evans to their home, where he shot and unalived both with a shotgun. The couple, Carl and his wife, Norma, basically, and I'll say trigger warning, dragged their remains out of the house, put them in a van. Norma did the washing of the van, trying to clean up the crime scene and destroyed other incriminating evidence. They wrapped these remains in a sleeping bag and dumped them into the Flint River. So Carl Patton Jr. is considered the Flint River unaliver. Okay. Now, they were found a few days later. So they disposed of those remains. She cleaned the van. Carl burned several pieces of furniture that had stains on them and other items in the backyard. Now, the couple were questioned about the Cleveland Evans unalivings in late 1977, and Carl was even considered a suspect after stains matching Evans' blood were found in the trunk of his car, but he was not charged due to lack of evidence. Now, he remained a suspect, and after the cold case was reopened and the DNA was tested in 2002, it came back with a positive match. Okay, so we definitely know right there is 4 people who were unalived. So in his first trial in 2003, he was charged with the unaliving of Fred Wyatt, Betty Jo Eplin. Norma served as the prosecution's key witness. Now, why I'm letting you guys know this, you may not care. Hey, Freeside, and it may be boring to some, but I'm just trying to fill you in on the backstory. So when I talk about Melissa Wolfenbarger's mother getting on that stand to testify about what she knew about Melissa's husband, Christopher, who was charged 25 years later with her unaliving, it is the prosecution saying, look at the things that you have done. So, they're trying to definitely, well, I'm sorry, it would be the defense. I'm sorry. Free side. So it would be the defense going after and trying to discredit what Melissa's mother, Norma, is saying. So there was after these trial ended, this is weird, okay? So let me just go back. Thank you, just forget about it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And anybody who gets a membership, you don't have to, but come in and give a little wave. For real. Thank you, just forget about it. I appreciate you. I really do. Okay, so at the time that Carl was charged and given life, Norma Patton claimed that Carl had been hired to unalive Fred Wyatt, which Carl was, see, it got confusing for me. So, she claimed that Carl had been hired to kill Fred by the man's common law wife, Marie Jackson Wyatt, who had taken a life insurance policy out on him. So she's saying to them that this common law wife of Fred Wyatt hired Carl to, take him out because of a life insurance policy, because he was cheating on her with Betty Jo Eflin. So when they unalived Fred, they also unalived Betty Jo Eflin. So she claimed Marie wanted to be done because her husband was cheating on her with Eflin, promising to pay Carl $15,000 in exchange. Carl agreed. Together with Cleveland, the pair unalived them both. They dumped Fred's body into the river. No, they dumped Eflin's body into Flint River, while Fred's body was placed in his car and left on the railroad tracks. The car was eventually hit by a moving train, making it seem like he was unalived in a train accident. Wow, that's weird, right? I wonder how many other red rummers have thought about that. Okay, so she pleaded guilty to all charges, claiming, no, wait. Why am I getting confused here? Yes, that's what I said. Carl pled guilty to all charges, claiming he felt remorse. As a result of the plea, he was given 2 life terms with a chance of parole after serving 20 years. Are you kidding me? Okay, so then he was extradited to DeKalb County, where he was charged with the Cleveland Evans case. In that case, Norma, Melissa's mother, pled guilty and received 12 months probation and $1,000 fine. On March 15th, he pled guilty to their unalivings as well and received 2 additional life terms. This is Melissa's father. Then a month after that trial ended, he confessed to number 5, that of a Richard Russell Jackson. That would be Marie Jackson Wyatt's first husband. He was shot and unalived in Henry County on March 9th, 1973. Now, he claimed Marie also paid him to carry out this red rum. Okay. Let's see. So, now we'll get down to the meat and potatoes here, okay? In 2003, when Carl Patton Jr. was arrested for these red rums, they took his DNA. So now let me get over to that part of it. And so there is Carl. She is very beautiful. Now, Melissa was 21 years old when she was last heard from by her family in around Thanksgiving of 1998. They found her remains 5 months later. Now, They found it in the proximity of Christopher Wolfenbarger's work. Okay? Now, at the time that she disappeared, from my understanding, there was a restraining order in place. She was going to, Melissa was going to leave her husband. Let me show you what he looks like as of today. This is Christopher Wolfenbarger. This is his booking photo. He was arrested for the 99 unaliving of his wife. When law enforcement went to serve the warrant on him, they found him hiding behind a dryer in the home. I don't want to leave his picture up there. I want to put Melissa's picture back up there. What a beauty. She's beautiful. Okay, so let's see if we can kind of, run down. Yeah, I would say that. My question was, and we can get into the trial if you guys want to. I don't mind showing a trial if other people are interested in it. I know some people don't like to sit and listen through the trial. But if you're interested, I'll be happy to show it. Not today though, because I really don't want to keep you guys on here for 3 or 4 hours. I know some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, get off of there. Okay, so basically, a Georgian man is standing trial for unaliving of his wife, who was the daughter of a convicted serial unaliver. Now, my question is number one, and maybe it'll get answered. Did she know that Carl Patton Jr. was her father? That's question number one. And I guess question number two, which I'm sure the mother was asked in court, was why did you not report your daughter missing sooner than what you did? So Christopher Wolfenbarger was arrested in August of 2024 for the unaliving of his wife, Melissa. Her remains, trigger warning, including her severed head, was found in trash bags in April and June of 99. At that time, her remains were misidentified and weren't positively identified until 2003. In 2003, like I said, her father was arrested, and they, of course, put his DNA into the system for the purpose of, if any other crimes had been committed, of course, they want to see if these people, if there's a DNA hit on anything. So at the time, Christopher Wolfenbarger, her husband, had claimed that she left on her own accord and never returned. He told investigators he never reported her missing because he assumed she had moved on with her life. Don't forget, she had filed for a temporary restraining order in July of 98. She did intend on leaving him. So, that's pretty interesting in itself, because she did have the restraining order. So him saying to law enforcement, she intended to leave me, she was leaving me anyway. I guess why would they question it anymore? Now, when they announced his arrest, they said he was always a person of interest, but they did not detail what led to his arrest decades later. Now, court documents stated that her remains were found directly across the street from where Christopher worked at the time. Wow, this is just crazy. So you have to go back and there's a lot of different things going on here. You talk about the DV, intimate partner violence, abuse of power and control. Okay, hold on. I don't need to go over some of this stuff. The chief medical examiner and forensic pathologist described the process of collecting the remains. The final identifier was her dental records. They also, when they found her, they never did find her torso, which is messed up. They never found her torso at all. But there was DV, it was testified to in court. So when they found her remains, they were in plastic bags. Plastic bags were found near the remains. There was no insect activity on the skull. So they did have a lot of challenges, with identifying these things. And this is one thing. Hey, Bomba Cat, oh, you got a membership? That's so cool. Thank you again. Just forget about it. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you got one, Bomba Cat. For real. Okay, so of course, if you find remains that are in different trash bags, I don't know how you could possibly think that the person passed by natural causes. But, I've heard of cases where, yes, people say that their loved one or something passed from different causes, natural causes, and they were afraid to report it, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it before. I don't know if you guys have. So they could not determine what the cause of death was. They could not confirm strangulation or, being done with a knife or whatever. But the concealment and dismemberment, you kind of have to look at that as homicide, I would think. Okay. And like I said, dental records were finally used, but they could not determine her time of death. Now, in 2000 is when a retired detective became involved with the case. They discussed all kinds of things. I'm not going to get into exactly what every medical examiner. I'm not going to do that right now. Whose birthday? It's Bomba Cat's birthday. Oh my gosh, I got to do it. I got to do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And I'm glad you got a membership. Bomber Cat. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Happy birthday, girl. That is cool. That is too cool for school. Okay. So, I'm just going to give you kind of a rundown on what Melissa's mother, Norma, testified in the trial. So, Norma had been married to Carl for 56 years. Now, we know he passed away in prison last year. She stayed married to him even after he was convicted of being a serial unaliver. Okay? We know that she took a plea deal to snitch him out, tell them what she had to do with the crimes, and she ends up getting probation and a fine. Okay, anyhow. So Norma and Carl, it's being said that they actually sought help from the police when their daughter Melissa went missing. Okay. Now, Norma had been active on a podcast. They were trying to find out what happened to their daughter. And I guess just because you are serial unalivers and you unalive other people, it doesn't mean that you are going to do that to your own family and that you cannot feel love, I guess, right? Kind of weird. Hey, the mouse, I hope you're doing okay, girl. Okay, so there were inconsistencies that the defense was trying to point out in the timeline of inquiries into Melissa's whereabouts. That is I probably heard a little tidbit of that, and the question stuck in my mind why it took so long. Okay. Now, knowing that Melissa's father, Carl, staged red rums as accidents, committed red rums for insurance money, Norma still loved her man. So they asked her about her efforts to check on Melissa and her perception of her son-in-law, Christopher Wolfenbarger's character. So, I'm sure it was a challenge we're talking about things that happened 25 or more years ago, and I couldn't even tell you exactly what transpired that long ago. So, what is interesting is that Melissa had what they are calling a co-worker lover. Okay? Thomas Michael Dixon, he worked at the Waffle House with Melissa. He became intimate with Melissa in late 1998. He did not know she was married. He did note physical signs of abuse on Melissa. So he testified to that. So, of course, the defense went after Dixon's history, criminal past, including bank robbery. Okay. So her lover had robbed a bank. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Now, Melissa and Chris had a daughter named Christina. She was raised by Chris's parents, and she believed that they were her biological parents for most of her childhood. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so Melissa and Chris's daughter believed that Chris's parents were her parents throughout most of her childhood. She developed an interest in Melissa's case and reached out to the Patton family. She described confusion around her relationship with her father, that she didn't know was her father, and their conversations about her mother, Melissa. Okay. Let's see what else I have. Now, Christopher Wolfenbarger, at the time when Melissa went missing, he actually worked for a company called Action Glass and Mirrors. He was terminated from the job after a company van accident. At the time, his old boss couldn't recall if it was borrowed, if a saw was borrowed or not. But he could, employees could borrow tools, is basically what they were trying to get to. That Christopher Wolfenbarger at that time would have absolutely have access to saws and different things like that. So there was a former office manager of the Action Glass and Mirrors. She testified that she worked along with her husband, Ronald. They knew Wolfenbarger during his brief employment. She testified that she recalled Wolfenbarger borrowing a saw, and it was never returned. That is what she's saying. So she is placing him with having a saw. There was also a former neighbor who lived across the street that testified she heard loud arguments from the home and noticed at one time a bruise under Melissa's eye. Now, also the neighbor stated that Christopher said that his wife was leaving him when he was asked where his wife was. Now, an Atlanta police officer testified that he responded to a July 98 DV call involving Melissa, where he documented bruising on her leg and abrasions on her arm, which he described as minor. Atlanta police officer Detective Stephen O'Hare led the August 24 operation to hang on a second, you guys. Thank you. Okay, let me see where I was at. Detective Stephen O'Hare led the August 2024 operation to arrest Christopher along with the U.S. Marshals. They actually used cell phone GPS to locate him. He was in his residence. He was found hiding behind a wine rack in the garage. He was uncooperative, but appeared physically healthy. Okay. So he did not, even after all these years, want to be arrested. Now, that is kind of wild. Norma, Melissa's mother, testified that Melissa met Christopher in high school. They frequently ran away to be together, and she became pregnant as a freshman. Norma recounted an incident where she saw abrasions on Melissa's backside, allegedly from being dragged down a sidewalk. She said she last saw Melissa in November of 98 and became concerned when she stopped calling after Christmas. So that is when they started becoming concerned, when she had not been heard of, and especially around the holidays. That's kind of weird. Okay. I'm trying to get through it because I know you guys want to go and hear all the juicy stuff. I know you do. Okay, so Norma said they searched for her daughter in 99 and learned in 2003 that her remains had been identified near Christopher's place of work, prior place of work. She had to discuss her husband's own arrest and the deals that she made testifying against her husband. Yeah. So sad. So as of December 98, Melissa hadn't been heard from. And like I said, in 2003, after her father was arrested on multiple red rooms, is when they realized that they had Melissa, they had, Melissa's remains for many, many, many years. Now, prosecutors allege that Christopher was abusive, removed her belongings after she disappeared, and made incriminating statements to his daughter. That's kind of crazy. Now, the defense attorneys are trying to say that Melissa's passing is unrelated to Christopher, and told the jury that the state's case was built on circumstantial evidence with gaping holes. They pointed to other suspects, including her father. Okay, so I kind of already seen that coming because her father is a serial red rummer. So, and he is no longer alive, but they suggested that Melissa's mom, Norma Patton, was trying to implicate Christopher because at the time she was trying to help her husband's chances of parole, which I don't know how they would have given him parole. But it was testified that they found a human, basically trigger warning, head lying in the street. George McEachern, I can't say his name, found it while he was walking home from the bank in 1999. He called 911, said that he noticed buzzards flying overhead, and told them that there could be more remains nearby. At the time when law enforcement responded to the scene, he saw the decomposing head, plastic bags, and a stray dog. Weeks later, cadaver dogs located more remains, hands and feet, inside double-bagged black plastic bags. Let's see. The defense is trying to prompt a dispute claiming missing evidence because there was a alleged VHS footage of a dog dragging the bag with the skull. So the judge said disregard the dog video testimony, is basically what he said. That is when they searched and found the other parts of her. So Melissa's sister testified about the marriage between Melissa and Christopher, and she basically described that there was a 7-year age gap between her and her sister Melissa. They grew up together with their parents, Carl and Norma Patton, and grandfather. In 91, Melissa had briefly lived with her sister in Tucson, Arizona. They both worked at the Waffle House together, and Melissa later married Christopher. During a breakfast gathering that included Chris, he made a chilling statement. I know how to get rid of a body, which alarmed the group. At the time, Melissa was living at home, but dating Chris, which distressed her sister due to the troubling relationship. To raise awareness about Melissa's passing, her sister attempted to talk to reporters. Tina admitting to having issues with their mother and identified as a daddy's girl. Previously mentioning that she was convicted of MATH related charges. So they pressed her on the last time that she saw Melissa, which she said was in March of 99, just a month before Melissa's body was found. So, but that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Because if she had seen her a month prior, well, I guess it would depend on the area and the climate, right? Due to as far as the decomp. The decomp. But they're saying that Melissa's sister Tina contacted law enforcement in 2015 about Melissa's disappearance and learned of her death in 2003, shortly after the father was arrested. That is crazy. That is crazy. All right. I thought that was kind of just interesting. Thank you, Poppy. Thank you, Flies. Thank you. Just forget about it. Forget about it. Some shit you do have to forget about. You know, it's not worth it to sit and dwell on shit. I'm just saying. But, you know, I know they're talking about Ernie and they're showing an email or something about. Oh, Lord. Hang on. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Chad's cooking tonight, so he wants some collard greens. He loves collard greens. I don't like them, but he likes them. So, anyhow, Ernie is supposed to have a warrant out or something, but he just got out of jail. So, why? I don't understand why he'd have a warrant. But I was trying to pay attention. I really was. My mind just goes in 1,000 freaking different directions. Okay. Now, Norma testified that she didn't go to Atlanta because she didn't want to go by herself when she could not locate or contact her daughter. So that the defense says that she waited for months before she actually checked on her. So, but this is what she said about what she did for her husband. So, Carl Patton Jr. admitted to unaliving 5 people throughout the 70s. He passed away in 2024 in prison. So Norma told the court that her husband, who became known as the Flint River serial unaliver, was convicted after she took a plea deal for immunity in exchange for testifying against him. Right? She stated, I helped him dispose of the bodies. They said, so you were involved? She said yes. She told the court she overheard her husband planning several of the 5 red rooms and even had a hand in the planning of 2 of them. She said she never considered leaving him and that she loved him, even though she knew what he was doing. So they were trying to discredit Norma's testimony against her ex-son-in-law. It would be Christopher. That's sad that she wasn't identified until 2003. Yeah, that's pretty wild. 26 years. 26 more years to connect the DNA of Christopher Wolfenbarger. So, for sure. For sure, for sure. All right, that took 1 hour. 1 hour. I've been following a lot of different things. I haven't been getting on YouTube. I mean, if somebody's live, when I go on, I do try to go in and say hi. But a lot of times I don't know what people are talking about. So she did, though, Fly. She got full immunity. Absolutely. I mean, the first two that Carl went to trial for, he didn't get very much time. Not at all. Not at all. So I don't know what else is I don't know a lot else about what's going on the YouTube streets, because I just hadn't really paid much mind to it. Did Ernie say he had a warrant, or was it just paperwork saying that? I don't know. Because I would think that he would have to be going to see his probation officer anyway. So, well, some of the cases I've covered over here, the plea deals are crazy. Just craziness. It doesn't make a lot of sense why that would even transpire. Pretty sad. So, Court TV has it on their channel right now. And like I said, I don't mind showing it if you want to see it. I'm not going to do it on this live. Usually if I use other people's stuff, I try not to monetize it, because they're the ones who work to do it, not me. So, the Harlan Enterprise. A pair of Harlan County men are facing charges, including substance trafficking, after allegedly being found in possession of suspected MATH. Murray Caldwell, 68, and William Depp, 40, were arrested by the Harlan County Sheriff's Office, according to the press release. Well, what you know. Harlan County Sheriff's Office assisted the Office of Probation and Parole on a home visit in the Shields area on August 10th. During the visit, the probation and parole officers located suspected meth, substance paraphernalia, and cash in the bedroom occupied by Caldwell, whose alias was Alan Murray, during a search of the property. Law enforcement also located a firearm under the bed. My question is, when you're on probation, can they come? They can come to your house and check in your house, right? For sure. I'll tell you what cracked me up over Kells is somebody was on the panel and they were like, "Yeah, I've heard Remain Comp's name. I went over to check it out. I don't I don't like the stuff she talks about." I was like, was that on a need to know basis, the Shannon? For real. I think if you met me, you might like me a little bit. Just a little bit. No, I'm good with it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. But Ernie, everybody talks about Ernie. You know, old Ernie. So they can just come in and search your home if they need to. Well, maybe these guys didn't know that because I wouldn't expect that they would have that shit in their house if they were going to come and test and check it out. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. But yes, I tried to get through that case pretty quickly for you guys. So hopefully you guys understood it. I mean, when I first started hearing about it, I was kind of like, wait a minute, I've got to make sense of this because it kind of didn't make sense to me. I'm like, okay. But now that I went through it, I think I understand it a lot better. So now they'll just be waiting on the outcome of the jury and what the jury decide. I think it's going to be pretty interesting, though. Kind of crazy case. Now, if you go back, the parents, the mother and the stepfather of the little boy that's missing right now. And, I apologize for not getting into the case, but it's kind of turning into, things that's been happening in missing children's cases that, I think are just kind of over the top. I seen where and I don't talk about different people's channels, Hatfield and McCoy's had actually went to the home of the mother and the stepdad, I'm assuming, and, were questioning them. They supposedly found a trash bag with clothes, kids' clothes in it or whatever, and they ended up leaving the home. And kind of what we've seen going on in quite a few of these missing kids cases. Once YouTubers start doing whatever it is they're doing, then these parents leave the home. And then usually the YouTubers, they kind of just, make it impossible. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Somebody said he went to his probation officer yesterday. Well, I mean, he's allowed to leave the county, isn't he? Isn't he allowed to leave the county that he's in? I don't know, because to be honest with you guys, I don't, I kind of watch clips and stuff of what goes on with Ernie. Oh, I need to pull up that clip. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I need to. Which, is that under the same channel, I wonder? Um, Wait, I know that I'm subbed. Does it, when you change your name, it doesn't change the name of your channel, does it? Because I know I'm subbed to Mr. A. Can you drop me the link? Can you drop me the link again so I can pull it up? And I will check it out. Can you get it? It's Mr. A's clip. I've subbed to so many different people. I love podcasts, though. Podcasts interesting. I got a comment from someone also, but I'm not. I appreciate when people come into my comments and they say thank you, but I don't know what they're thanking me for. So I always feel like a little uncomfortable. But it's the Tegan Osmond channel. Whatever you're thanking me for, you're very welcome, my friend. I don't know. They can't leave the county. So what is everybody? I don't get it. I don't get it. Thank you, Flies. Let me grab that really quick here. Let me grab it. I was listening to some pop culture stuff, and Little Nas X, I'll learn how to sing it, and I'll sing it in the English. Thank you, Mr. A. See, music universal. For sure. For sure, for sure. I don't know, Poppy. You know me. You know how I am. I loved it. I thought it was cute. For sure. For sure, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. If Ernie ends up in jail, then he'll be okay. He'll be all right, everybody. But if he's not paying the probation officer and he owes the probation officer and he's still having to go to the probation office, I don't know why they would feel like they need to issue a warrant. But I don't know. I don't know. Usually if I holler for him, he'll show up. But I can holler for him, but I don't think he's going to show up. Ernest Shell, come and tell us if you're going to the jail. We don't want you to have to go back to the jail hell. But no, I got lost. It's hard for me to find myself when I go into a chat and they're talking about things. For sure. But he's got his hands full. And then I seen a question that was real interesting because they were saying that who put that out? Did Lisa Kay put all of this out? Is she the one who put it all out? All right, we'll just kind of talk about that for a second, talk about whatever you guys want. And I know a lot of you people do not know who Little Nas X is. He is a singer, but he was arrested. He is very hard to describe. Little Nas X is. He did that song. What was it? Old Town Road with Who Is It Flies. I know you know your music. I'm going to take my trip through the Old Town Road. Billy Cyrus. Billy Ray. Isn't it Billy Ray? I'm not sure either. I've been in a totally different sector too. I actually watched a couple of the most beautiful foals being born. It was so cool. And the horse belonged to a little 16-year-old girl, and it started getting real antsy when it was going into labor, and she went out there with it, and it calmed down, and she let it come in with her, and it was freaking awesome. Okay, so Little Nas X, he was arrested, hospitalized for reported possible overdose while wandering LA streets in underwear. He wasn't naked, he had underwear on. He was reportedly arrested for alleged assault of a police officer in Los Angeles. He had attended the 36th annual, GLAAD Media Awards at the Beverly Hilton on March 27, 2025. He was taken to the hospital for treatment and will go through the booking process once he's released. Police responded to reports of a man nude in the street. Well, he wasn't nude if he had his underwear on. He went on to batter an officer. So that's what he was booked for. He was taken to the hospital. When they released him, they started the booking process. So he's saying that now he has facial paralysis. Old Town Road. That is the song Old Town Road he did with Billy Ray Cyrus. Multiple calls were made of a possible overdose. In April, he shared a video to Instagram taken from a hospital bed and said he was suffering from facial paralysis. He says, he later told fans, "Guys, I'm okay. Stop being sad for me. Shake your ass for me instead." Sounds like something he would say. The problem is, this young man went on to make videos where he was messing around with the devil. And this has ended up happening. Seems like that happens a lot. You know, we see some of these performers and stuff, they will start messing around with the doing devil stuff, and yeah. For sure. What is that? Okay, wait. Let me play this link to John's. Here we go, John. Here's a short I just found. Here we go.
Sure. Here's a short, heartfelt song about a sweet woman named Izzy who loves cats. The little town where the sun shines bright lives a lovely girl, and her smile's a light. Her name is Izzy, with a heart so grand. In her cozy home, she has a furry band. Oh, Izzy, sweet Izzy, with a heart like gold. Every cat that you nurture, every story you've told.
Why?
With a chance.
Number one, where is your merch?
Why? What? What do you mean stop it? Stop what? Was that not it? That was his short, wasn't it? What am I stopping? What did I do now? Inquiring minds want to know. Was I... What? Is that a catch and release song? I'm totally lost. Enlighten me. Why did I need to stop it? I just showed the whole thing. It was just in a different language. Oh, what was he talking about? What did I miss? Okay, I don't think I want to know what I missed. All right. For sure. Okay, let's see. Let's see what else I got. Another live that I have to figure it out. Hang on. Okay. Well, we didn't even hear the whole song. Okay. All right, whatever. Okay, let me find one more story here. this is kind of a weird story. So let me pull this up. All right, here we go. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for letting me know that. Yeah. Okay. So a woman told a retiree that he made her blush and invited him to visit. He passed away before learning who he was really talking to. So Thungbu, Wang Bonadu's wife, begged him not to go to New York City, thinking he was getting scammed. She only found out he was messaging with a chat bot afterwards. Oh, that sucks. A 76-year-old New Jersey father passed away earlier this year after he fell while attempting to travel to New York City to meet a beautiful young woman who had invited him to visit, or so he thought. In reality, he had been chatting with an AI chatbot on Facebook. After his fall, he was left there was no brain activity. Now his family is speaking out. Wow. Earlier this year, a 76-year-old New Jersey man severely injured his head and neck after falling while trying to catch the train to New York City to meet a beautiful young woman. In reality, he had unwittingly become infatuated with a meta chatbot. That is just fucked up. After 3 days of being on life support following his fall, he was unalived. He was a husband and a father of 2 adult children. He had suffered a stroke in 2017 that left him cognitively weakened, requiring him to retire from his career as a chef and largely limiting him to communicating with friends via social media. On March 25th, his wife Linda was surprised when he packed a suitcase and told her he was off to see a friend in the city. His wife was afraid that he was going to get mugged. She was worried about him getting robbed. So her and his daughter Julie tried to talk him out of it. So later, his wife Linda hit his phone, and the couple's son even called local police to try to stop the excursion. Authorities said there's nothing they can do. They told Linda they did convince him to take along an Apple AirTag. Wow. That's horrible. That is horrible, you guys. That's so sad. That is freaking sad. Oh. Life can be really sucky. Life can be really fucking sucky. For sure. For sure. Well, I guess I can go and I'll edit that out or whatever. I'm sure to come up in my email because of the music and because, yeah, I don't know. Me too. I'm lost too, Deb. I guess you need to find me. You need to come and find me because for sure. But no, I didn't want to keep you guys on here very long. I wanted to go over that. Now, I don't mind going over the see. Now, I do know that one of the cases, Noel Alvarez, vanished on March 25th, 2023. He was 6 years old. His mother is accused of capital red rum and fled to India. Now she's been captured. I will cover this case. I will try to get it together maybe for tomorrow. But I want to let you guys know I am not going to be on social media all weekend. I believe tomorrow's Friday, right? Yes, tomorrow is Friday. So I probably will come on and talk a little bit about this case with the mother actually being captured. That is going to be very interesting. Okay, so we definitely will be talking about that. Also, I will probably be on, I'm going to be on my computer because I got things to do. I've got stuff to write out and I got a lot of things I need to take care of. But I definitely will be, I'll be around and I'll try to pop in and say, and hang on a minute, in some of the chats if I get a chance. So, you know, I don't go into a lot of chats, but I do like to go in and say hi. I just don't, you know, if I can go into a chat and say hi to people, it doesn't mean that if they're talking about someone or something like that, it doesn't mean, I don't know about other people, but it doesn't mean that I know what these people are talking about. A lot of these people that, you know, talk about things on YouTube, they have history with whoever they're talking about. So it may be a little bit of history that I do know about from, you know, watching it transpire on YouTube for a long time. It may be stuff that I don't know about. But I think people can go into chats and say hello to other people and, you know, not be attacked for it. I think everybody's got their own opinions. They can have their own opinions. You know, like I always say, the opinions of mine may not be the opinions of others. For sure. So I just have no desire to, you know, some of that shit is just stupid. For real. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But I ain't talking about you, Ernie. No, I'm not talking about you, Ernie. No way, mister. You got too much going on for me. I can't keep up with you, Ernie, at all. And I would, you know, and I don't know. I mean, I got my own opinion on him allegedly having a warrant, not having a warrant. It's specifying, you know, whatever it did in the email. I got to go back over to Kel's and try to see what I missed because I already had my live plan, so I couldn't hang out in there to see what was going on. Yes, Ernie is Ernie. Ernie is Ernie. For sure. For sure, for sure. So I hope he doesn't have a warrant. And I hope that, I don't know. I'm hope Ernie's doing okay, for real. For real. I do agree with a lot of people that say that, you know, once he did go to jail, he looked really healthy when he got out. He really did. Now, I ain't looked at him lately because I'm sorry, Ernie, I don't watch you. I don't. Not, you know, being mean, but no, I don't watch you. So, for sure. For sure, for sure. But I do love funny clips and stuff, so. All right, just forget about it. Thank you again for gifting the 5 memberships. That really means a lot. We're going to get back into, I miss having fun. I want to get back to that. You know, last I saw he was having a bad sinus problems. A lot of people are having bad sinus problems right now because the freaking weather is sucky. The weather is freaking sucky for sure. So I know that I don't know, I got those new glasses from the freaking eye doctor and I've been trying to wear them and I've ended up getting headaches from that. And yeah, I think I'm going to take the weekend and I'm just going to regroup. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to go look for some good content that people are putting out and, you know, maybe go over and commentate on a few things. So, but I'm going to be very picky about what I commentate on from now on. I definitely am going to really watch what I show on my channel that belongs to other creators. Because a lot of times you do get kind of stuck where if you show something, people are like, oh my God, you know, you're taking so-and-so's side. I prefer not to take any side at all. I would very much rather do that than take anybody's side. So, but I'm the first to say, it's not because some of these people say things that I do not like. Okay? But nobody pays my fucking bills. I'm not their mama. I don't pay their bills. And it's not up to me to run around YouTube calling people out. The thing about it is, once you start doing that, that's all you do. And there are specific channels that is what they do. They call people out. And so me personally, I'd rather go watch somebody else that knows what they're doing when they're calling people out, like Tragedy Pimps Exposed, Circle Jerks, you know, places like that. I would rather watch them, you know, because they definitely show you exactly what they're talking about. So, you know, I always did like Tragedy Pimps Exposed. For sure. For sure, for sure. And dang, Gypsy is live again. Gypsy, I gave you a 5-star on my TV yesterday, but I'm getting car sick. Okay? For real. I always try to go. I haven't been in her chat for a long time, but I always go over and give her a thumbs up. I do, Gypsy. I've always liked Gypsy. I have. For sure. For sure, for sure. But I do appreciate everybody who came in yesterday when I was going over the Amy Bradley case with Kirst. I didn't realize that I had changed the time on it 2 hours because somebody else was live. I didn't know who was live, you guys. I still haven't went over and watched that person that was live. You know, so that probably won't happen again, but I don't know. I mean, I thought Kirst was watching it. That's the only reason I changed times on it, because I thought Kirst was watching it. So, but yes, the Patton family and the Wolfenbarger family, that's some interesting stuff. I mean, it's sad that Melissa and Christopher's daughter were raised by his parents and didn't even know that they weren't her parents for many, many years. And what a way to find out that, what would it be? That would be, well, were they telling her that her dad was her brother? I wonder how that worked. I wonder how that worked out. Huh. But if he testifies, if he does go up on the stand, I will absolutely play it for you guys, and we'll go with it that way. But I have been on, we got 15 minutes because I have freaking OCD. So what, any comments anybody would like to make before I get off here? Just go for the gusto. You got 15 minutes. Well, Deb, it was good to see you. You made it through the whole live. Yay, Deb. Thank you for being in here. I know you said you had a headache. So I'm trying to cut down my lives again to an hour, no longer than 2 hours. So, but I have to say, the last 4 or 5 hour live I did was really interesting. And, I always have interesting conversations with Kirst. It is nice to be able to, sit with someone on panel and definitely talk about things, people seeing things, in different ways and stuff like that. So, for sure. For sure. For sure, for sure. But yeah, this weather, I mean, it's hot and then it starts cooling down, which I like it more when it's cool out. But, we got just a little tiny bit of rain here. All that does is make it freaking hotter. It just makes it freaking hotter. The grass is ready to be mowed again, so we'll have to take care of that. Well, I don't take care of it, but it's got to be taken care of. So, So I don't know. Anything you guys want me to look into, throw me an email about it. I don't mind looking into something. I really don't mind commenting on things. Like I said, that new channel that I don't know who she is, but her name is Tegan. I will drop your link next time, Tegan. I mean, you're probably not watching, so. But yeah, she talks about, it's really interesting because she talks about narcissists and different things like that. So it's really, really interesting. I had went over and was looking at some of her posts, and it was interesting what she said. So thank you for dropping my email. Thank you, Flies. And thank you, Poppy. I appreciate you too. I do. For sure. For sure, for sure. All right. Well, I know I'm boring everybody. So I'm going to hop off here, but yeah, I'll do a little live tomorrow. I'm not going to keep you guys on there very long. It's already 8:45 here. So I'll go ahead and hop off here. I'll try to do it a little bit earlier tomorrow since it's Friday. Heart to you too, Poppy. And but you guys never know what I'm going to end up talking about over here. Okay, so I may say that I'm going to talk about a specific case, and by the time I go live, I'll probably do it at 5 o'clock, and that way, because people do all kinds of stuff, right? I want purple, purple. Paint Charlie's nails purple. Mauve. Do him the mauve color. Do him the mauve color. So, for sure. For sure, for sure. So, okay. I am, like I said, you guys don't know what we're going to be talking about. I may find something that I want to comment on. I seen Jody Sue Brown. Are you ever going to unblock me? I can't even come in there and say hi. Now, I think that, you could unblock me after 4 freaking years. For real. Well, why did you even ask if you knew he wasn't going to like it? Lord Jesus, take the wheel on that. All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. I will start my live at 5 o'clock. And like I said, you don't know what we're going to be talking about. It may just be a free-for-all. Maybe we'll just have a free-for-all. I don't know. Sounds like fun, don't it? It does. All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night. Say prayers for everybody who needs it, for sure. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.